VM.
Yes,
So
Sampath.
in the last class, we are seeing about something on how do we create our subscription. How do we create our subscription? Number two, now we know how to create and work with our, what is it, resource group. Number three, now we know how to work with our, management groups, right? This is what which we're trying to see in the last class. In that we have seen about tags, we have seen about, logs, these kind of things which we did. Now we are seeing something about virtual machines. So whenever we talk about virtual machines, before virtual machines, we used to have, what is it, which we say, what do you say? Before virtual machines, what we have? You're there with me?
Yes.
Hmm. What is it we say? Before virtual machines, we used to say on premises, right? Okay, on premises servers we used to say. All right. So we used to, okay, get the hardware. We used to get the all the physical related things, and from there we used to install and we used to run the applications. So this is what which we used to do. And from this physical, now we have, what is it? Something called virtualization. What is it? We have virtualization. Now this is my, what I say, base server. And now from this base server, I install some application here, which is something called hypervisor. I install something called, what is it? Hyper, okay, visor. And from here, let me put this as a Hyper-V. And from here, I used to create my machines and run my machines. Okay, now as many as I require, I can go and create and run this in this scenario. So what is that the benefit that I'm going to get it comparing to previous one and this one? Previously, one machine, one operating system only, and one application example. But now here, one machine, multiple operating systems and multiple operating systems and multiple machines. So this I can say this is VM1. Okay, I can run my web server. And this I can say my VM2. And this I can say my VM3, where I can run my, what is it? Where I can run my uh, database server. Here I can run it as a web server. Now, the more the base hardware, the more I can create and run my virtual machines. So this is something topic which I'm talking about. What is it? Virtualization. Now from here, okay, from here, now we are talking about something on, what is it? The same concept. I'm trying to put it, okay, from the cloud vendor, from the cloud vendor. Now this part, I as a company purchased these tools. What are the tools? I purchased this hypervisor tool. Okay, like you can search for something, okay, virtualization tools. Okay, in the market, there are many service providers who provides this virtualization applications. So you can get that application, what is it? Applications and run inside your machines. So what are they? Like you can see here, okay, Microsoft provides you Hyper-V. Okay, like we have Red Hat virtualization, we have VMware virtualization. Like there are many companies who provides you. Like I'm talking about, what is it? Hyper-V, which is related to the Microsoft. Now this I have to purchase and run so that I can get this, what is it? I can get these options that I can go and create my machines, right? So what is the benefit that I'm going to get through this virtualization? I can run more than one operating systems. Now the same thing, how many operating systems I can run based on your base hardware. Now I require more and more, more and more, more and more. In that case, then it comes into the picture called as, cloud. Now in the cloud vendor, this Microsoft, Amazon, AWS, as you know, these people provide you, okay, as much as you require the, that base computer hardware and run your machines. You want to run machines 1 to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1000 based on your requirement. So Microsoft is ready to support you. Now this baseline we are talking about data center, and above we are creating virtual machines. And these virtual machines, okay, which I'm running here, about which I'm talking about is what is it? Azure virtual machines. Now, what is this Azure virtual machine? Same like your, base machines, which I say. This Azure virtual machines allows you to create and run your applications on any platform. It can be of Linux or it can be Windows. In previously, Microsoft means only Windows, but today data center supports all the platform. And these VMs, it is on-demand scalable compute resources. Based on your need, you increase it to 100 or 1000, whatever it is. Or when you don't have that much of requirement, that much of demand, then you decrease it. So that Microsoft supports you. Typically, you choose a virtual machine when you need more control over the computing environment rather than choosing the offer. Now, this machine you create, do you have everything control? What you want to run, what you want to do, everything is in under your control. So, what does it say? So, this article gives you information. What should you consider before creating a virtual machine? How to create it and how to manage this. So, why do you create and run this virtual machine? One, for development and testing. Why do you create and run this? For development and testing.
Testing.
To run your application, or you extend your machines in the data center. So before I create this, what I have to consider? Your name of the machine. Now I'm saying this as a web server. Now what you have to see, which location? I want to put it in my India. So because my clients are here, size. The main thing important is about your hardware. Now I need vCPU. Technically it is called. V stands for virtualization. Virtual. It's not a physical CPU, it's a virtual. So I need a 4 vCPUs. I need a 2 vCPUs. And your RAM of the machine. I need 16 GB. I need, what is it? 20 GB. So based on your requirement, you choose it. And how many machines that you are going to create it, which operating system you want to run it. Either you want to run this Windows or Linux operating system. Okay. You want to run a Windows or, and once you run this, create this, and you need related resources of the virtual machine. What do you need the related resources? You need something called, okay, a disk to this. You need something called NIC card to this. You need something called NSG to this, network security group. You need something, okay, like, okay, what I say, HDD, hard disk. You say NIC for your IP address and NSG for creating rules to connect. So what is this? We'll see in detail, but as of now, which I'm trying to put over here, something like this. Now, this is what which Microsoft is saying. Okay, NIC for your IP address, NSG for your security rules, for your disk which you want to connect this, and OS and some other related things. Location as per your requirement, you can go and choose your locations, right? And from there we have something called availability and all pricing tier. The more important thing which you have to see, availability. We have a separate sessions on this. We'll see on that, and size and pricing tier. So every time we want to go and create your mission, so you have to check the Microsoft pricing tier. How we have to check it, we will see it. And the number of core inside that, your virtual CPUs, how many you require and all. So to create this, what is my job? That to go to my Microsoft Azure portal. And once I get into this, so what I'm going to check over here. Okay, so the first thing is that whenever you're working with this virtual machine, Microsoft supports you in your free tier. In your free tier, he'll support you for uh, vCPU. That means virtual CPU. It is limit for 4. You cannot go more than this. You cannot go more than this. So let me go to my virtual machine. And when I get into my virtual machines, I can get here. Now this is my subscription. So under these subscriptions, I get now create a new VM. So let me go and choose this. I'm making this for my web server. Okay, resource group for web server. Now virtual machine name, I'm trying to give this as a web server. Location, I'm choosing by default India only. Right now, I don't require any availability. So let me go and choose my no availability. Your operating system, I choose as a Windows. Let me go and create one Windows machine. And with this, now you can see here, uh, there are few things which we'll discuss later about availability, security. Okay, and what we talk about inside this. So right now we have taken few options here to create our virtual machine. So let me select the size. Now if I'm creating my machine with 4 CPU and 16 GB, next time I cannot go and create one more because as I said, the limit is only 4 vCPU. So better to go and choose your vCPU as 2 and 16 GB memory. And as I said, the pricing you can check here, the pricing tier. This is 17,000, this is 13,000, this is 7,000. Now what is your requirement? What is your requirement? Now let me go and choose this, what is it? 2 vCPU and 16 GB memory. And username, what I choose, okay, as a password at the rate 123 I'm giving, password at the rate 123, right? And from here, let me allow this RDP. What is this and all we'll see in the next classes. But right now, simply I'm trying to create a virtual machine. Okay, so once I create my virtual machine, so before I create this virtual machine, there is one thing I'll try to allow here. So we'll also discuss more in detail about this later. But right now, you just put this HTTP and finally create. Now I created my virtual machine. So per hour, it is charging me this. How much it is? 24, around 25 rupees it is charging. With taxes and all that, we get something around 30 rupees changes. And finally, I'm creating this virtual machine. Now, once this machine is get created, now I'm talking about this scenario. Now you see, now this part you created. Okay, now one virtual machine which is running in your data center of Azure. Now what do you do with this? Now you can go and run any applications over there. So which applications you run over here? What is it application you run here?
Any testing tool or anything?
Okay. So right now for your example, let me take this okay as a we said as this as a web server, right? So to make this as a web server, I need to install a role in this which is called IIS, Internet Information Services. Okay. So when I install this role, I'll get an option called you know INET pub, and in this INET pub, I get an option called root where I'm going to host my application inside this, where I'm going to host my application inside this. So when I host my application, now it will be running inside this, right? So now you can see the deployment has been completed. Now once this has been completed, I can go and connect my virtual machine. So I can connect through this, what is it? IP address. I can copy this. Simply, you can go to start and type here as a remote. You get an option here, remote desktop connections. So through a protocol called RDP, remote desktop protocol, I'm trying to connect to this.
So there is a difference remote desktop connection and desktop protocol.
Nothing, there also a protocol RDP, here also a protocol RDP. So it's all about either you're working in LAN network or WAN network. Now I'm working in WAN network. If you have the same machines in your organization, that will be a LAN network, like as I said here. So now I've connected to, trying to connect to my machine, and you can see the overview, what you created, the name you have given, status it is running. You want to stop it, you can start, restart. You want to delete, okay. So your subscription and your machine configuration, what you have created, and the operating system, what you have chosen. So whenever you create a network, whenever you create a, sorry, machine, you get two IP addresses. One is called private IP and another one is called, this is a private IP and this is a public IP. Public for you to get connected like this. Private to make the communication within the data center. To make the communication within the data center. Right? So right now what we did, so we created a machine. Let me show you in this diagram the architecture of Azure, how it looks. Now you can see this one. Now this is my machine. Now once my machine is created, I'm trying to get connected through my RDP. Now once I get connected here, you can see here, now I got connected. Now in this machine, my agenda, I want to make this as a web server. To make this web server, I need to install this service called IaaS. To install this IaaS service, go to add roles and features, next, 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 and install this IaaS, add features. As of now, just simply click all next and finish. Now, once I've done this, my next job is, okay, to go and get my website into this. So right now I don't have any website. Don't have my developing team. So for an example, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to download one service which is called download sample. What I say, download sample websites. Now I download this sample website. So there is a website here. Let me download and extract this website. So once I download this, right, extract. Now you can see this is a website.
Okay.
Okay. But in real picture, there is another scenario how that website comes here. Okay. You have your developing team. Okay. You have your testing team. And finally, you have a deployment team and it is deployed on the destination called VM. Clear? So right now, for our for our understanding how a VM and how we can deploy an application on that, so directly I'm getting into the picture. What is it? A machine and putting what is it? This website on this. Okay, for ourselves just to experience on that. Now you can see here, I completed my job here, and I'll go to my Windows and Explorer, and in this Explorer, I'll try to put my website which was developed, inetpub www.root, and here I'll just paste this. Once I've done this job, now let me go and take this web address and put it in the here, and finally you should able to see the website, and the same thing I'm trying to give this and put it in your chat. Now you see, click that okay URL into your machine and you should able to see that site.
Mm.
Understood this, what I'm trying to do? Yes, Khalid, Manoj,
Yes.
this,
Yes, Sampath,
Soumya.
it's quite simple, straightforward.
So could you able to get that web page in your browser?
In the VM, yes, you can try.
The same thing. So wherever you want to take this, I'm taking in the guest account now. You can see I also shared you in this, HTTP link also I've given. You can click that in case you face any challenge to type that. Now in the real scenario, so this picture which we have tried to put, okay, you have a name there, but right now we are not into that. Just simply what we typed here, IP address. Whenever a user types here a IP address, uh, okay, or a name, so this request is going to Microsoft data center. In Microsoft data center, it is entering into this network. Now in this network, it is entering into this machine, and in this machine, it is entering into this, inet, and from there, website, and finally you should able to see the website. And users go and browse. So as an example, now I'm trying to put this site. Now you go and browse as per your requirement. Now I say now I'm running my site in Microsoft Azure, and whenever people want to go and shop their requirements, okay, now this site is highly available. I say this site is highly secure now. The site is highly secure. I can do any transactions on this. I can do any payments on this. Now I'm not going to get downtime here. How? That is also seen in the next classes. But your requirement is that to make these services highly available for your user. That makes me to go and create and run my okay resources in the Azure rather
So,
than going with
Sampath,
that.
sorry,
Yes,
can
yes.
you just help me understand this flow, this flow diagram that you just showed?
Which one? Which I'm trying to put here, right?
The previous one, the other one.
This one.
That's the, can you please go through one more time because I was not able to understand the whole thing.
Right. So the first thing is that I was trying to explain you, okay, on this, how we came into this, right?
Yeah.
Cloud. So before we have physical, then we have, tools, and finally we came here and we created this part here.
Mm-hmm.
Before getting into this web server, already Microsoft had given this downline infrastructure,
Okay,
right? So we are not bothered about this. So finally we are only working on this.
that's fine.
So when you're working on this, what you're going to do here? So the first thing is that you created a machine,
Machine, that's fine. Got it.
right? So when you created this machine, okay, you have some private IP and you have public IP.
Public
This
IP,
is what
that's
which I'm trying to public IP and private IP,
private IP.
right? Now you connected this private IP through RDP protocol. Okay.
RDP. Yes, yes.
So once you connected to this server, you install this service called IaaS.
Yes, that's fine.
So once you install this IaaS service, Okay, then you got something called this inet pub folder.
Okay.
Okay, now inside this inet pub, okay, what did you do? You hosted a website,
Hosted a website, yes.
right? You hosted a website.
Yeah.
Now, once you hosted a website, user
Yeah.
should able to connect to this website, right? So
Yeah.
then there is a service called HTTP.
Yes.
Okay, at the time of creating your virtual machine, we allowed it. Okay, now that HTTP user has taken and tried to connect to this web server by giving this, what is it, public IP.
Public IP, yes.
And once the user gives this public IP, but in real case it is a name, but as of now it is a IP. Once user gives this, now he entered into the data center and in that a network, and in that network to a machine, and in that machine now he is able to, okay, able to this webs able to browse this website through HTTP. Clear? Any queries here?
Sampathi, how does this HTTP come into the picture? Because I can see that user is hitting this dotted line straight away.
So I was trying to put
Sorry.
you like this, while creating this, what is it? Virtual machine. As I said, we'll discuss this later. At one option, I made this one. Can you see this?
Okay, 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 got it now.
So that picture I was trying to put here, this one. HTTP and RDP was allowed. Where it is allowed? Can you see here and this? Hope it is clear now. Any more queries? Yes, others. You're there with me?